I hope my voice is audible. Okay, good. So let's get started with that code. Okay. So what we have done here is in the previous lecture, we have completed our user code all the way till here. In the previously, we were getting this background color white, right? So what I have done, I have just wrapped it out with theme and I have given the canvas color to be colors.black. Okay. That's why we are now getting it proper. Okay. So what we have to do here is we have to make sure that we create profile page and as well as progress indicator as well. Okay. So we will be doing that today. We will be quickly implementing all those things. Okay. So let's ensure that whether it's working or not. Okay, yeah, everything seems to work. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to be creating our profile page. Okay. So let's start with the profile page. So, okay. So what we will do, we will go here and we'll create a file inside the home screen itself. Let me create a new screen here. And inside this new screen, I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to name it as profile page. Okay. Profile page dot dart. That's what we are going to create. Actually, the file name will be profile page dot dart. So profile page dot dart. Okay. We are going to create a profile page dot dart. Now inside that, I'm gonna import package material.dart. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stateless widget, and the name of that stateless widget will be profile page. Okay, that's it. And now let's go back to this here. And instead of writing this, now I'm gonna change it to profile page. So let's reload. So as soon as we will reload, we will be able to see a profile page here. Okay. So let's quickly start with the profile code. So for profile page, what we have to ensure that it is a scaffold, okay, which means it will be having some basic properties that we can use further. Okay. Inside that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a background color which will be colors.black. And then after that, we are going to give an app bar. Okay. Why? Because an app bar, like just keep in mind the design to be there in reference. So let me just show you the design. Okay. This is the design that we are going to create. Here you can see that in the app bar we have a back button, right? So let's quickly go and create a back button. So for back button, we are going to use our very own app bar. Okay. Now inside the app bar, let's firstly give the name that is app bar. Inside app bar, we have background color, colors.black. After that, we are going to give what leading. What is the meaning of leading? Leading will be having an icon. Okay. So inside the leading, we will be having an icon, and the icon will do nothing but it will look like this, which you can see right there, a little bit icon present. Okay, let's just make sure that the color is colors.white and the size is 20. Yes. Now you can see it properly. It is looking perfect and everything. Okay. So yeah, now you can see the icon. Okay. This icon has been done. Now, inside the icon, we are going to create body. Okay. So the body will be having column. Why exactly will be having column? Because everything is in sorted format, like by one by one by one by one. Right. Firstly, you have this row, then you have the text, then again row, 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 and all this is in a column. That's why we are going to use it. Okay. So let's start with it. Firstly, I'm going to use column. So inside the column, let me create children. It will ask for children, and the children will be having some of the things. So the first thing that we are going to create is a row. Okay. So inside the row, we will be having a circular avatar. Okay. Like, yeah, it's suggesting me some code. Let's check what exactly it's giving you. What is the cost? Let's just remove all that, and for now, let's add a const. Okay. So now we have added the const. Things looks good. Now inside the row, we are going to use children here. Okay. What are the problems? There are no problems at all. Let me remove it. Yeah. So inside the row, we are going to use children, and that children will be having our sized box. Okay. So firstly, I'm going to give a sized box here. Okay. And that sized box will be having what? Will be having a proper image. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's just directly create circle avatar. The circle avatar will be having radius of 50. Okay, so 50, and what you have after this circle avatar, you have a background image. Okay. So background image will be our profile image. Okay, so let me check whether we have the profile image or not. So we have the profile.jpg. Okay, so profile image is present. Okay, let's check whether it's able to fetch the image or not. Okay, so yeah, now you can see that yeah, image is properly fetching out. And after the image, what we have a different sized box. Okay, so let's do what? Let's make sure to add a container which will be having this text which says joined 2 months ago and all that. Okay, so let's add that. But before adding the text, it also has a vertical line. See, yeah, this line which you can see right there, it's there. So this line also we have to create. So for creating that line, I'm gonna make sure to add what? I'm gonna make sure to add a rotated box, and in that rotated box, I'll add the divider. So divider, divider will be having what color? Will be color dot white, and what is the thickness? Thickness I'll add 2. Okay. Let's check for it. So where it is. Inside the row, I'll also have to make sure that it is main axis alignment dot space between, not in the center. I don't want it to be in the center. Space between. Yeah. Now let's see. We are not getting the divider as of now. Okay. And what will be also there in the divider? We will be also ensuring that the divider has rotated. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up with wizard, and will be rotated box. And the rotated box have quarter turns. So let's give some quarter turns here. Okay. So you will be able to see it once it comment this out and see whether it's there or not. Okay, so currently it's not there. We'll have to see why we are not able to see that divider, but yeah, the divider is very necessary. It is ensuring basically that yeah, the things are space between. Okay. Now after this, what we are going to do, we are going to add this join date. Okay, so inside this join, what it will be container. Okay, and we will specify the height width, and inside the container, we'll create a column which will be storing these things. Okay, so let's create a container. Now inside this, we have child, and the child will be having a column. Okay, so inside the column, you can add any random data like currently it's added. Okay, that's it. Why it's giving us an error. Construction isn't a cost. Okay, yeah, I know it's not a cost. Don't worry. Okay. Now, this container has also need to be specified with height and width. So let's give it a height about 180 something, and width, uh, let's give it height of 90, and width will be around 180. Okay. So double the width so that it creates a box, a square. Okay. And inside this, I'll also ensure that we have padding also. Okay. So let's give it padding. Insets dot all. Like, let's give it a random padding from all the sides. Okay. So now you can see that it shows John Doe. Okay. And right after that, what we have to make sure that instead of John Doe, it shows here join. Okay. So joined, and the colors will be colors dot gray. Okay. And text size should also be little small. Let's keep it 60. And right after this text, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ensure that we will be having the timeline. Okay. Now you can see the timeline properly, that when exactly this person joined. Okay. Let me just reduce the size. Yeah. Now it looks good. Okay. Now also we'll make sure that this column has main axis alignment to be center and the cross axis alignment to be also center. Okay, that's totally in the center. Now let's make sure that this padding is there so that this will be properly aligned. Okay, so let's go to the main, and inside this main I'm gonna give some padding to it. Okay, so we'll wrap this column with the padding, and the padding will be edge insets dot symmetric. Okay, so edge insets dot symmetric, and inside the symmetric we are going to give horizontal and vertical as well. So horizontal will be media query dot of context dot size. Okay, so media query dot of context dot size. Okay, so we'll give, and same for the vertical. Okay, so for vertical, let's give it a little less padding. Now it's gonna look much better. Okay, so you can see that we are getting our proper data, and it looks almost kind of same. I have to just ensure why this divider is not there, but we'll see that later. Okay, so instead of this cross, let's start with this. Now it looks fine. Where is the design? In the design, it's like this. Let me reduce the width as well. Okay, let's give it around 140 so that it will be properly shifted that side. Okay, now it looks fine, much better than before. Okay, yeah. So this is how it's gonna look. So in June 2021. Now this looks much better, and let's move forward with it. So this part is done. And now after that, what we have to make sure, we have to give some spacing. So right after this row, we are going to give size box. So size box and a little bit of height. Okay. We'll have to see where it is going. Yeah, this is the row, and here we are going to give the size box. Okay, so let's format it out. Yeah, now it looks fine. So after this size box, it's going to ask for the text. So let's do what? Let's add the text as well. Okay. So inside the text, we will add what? Amogh Saxena. Okay. And after that, I'm gonna give some basic text styling, like what is the text, size, font, and all. Okay. So yeah, let me show you. This is how it's gonna look like, right? This text is like this. So we have to ensure that the main column has a basic line which says cross-axis alignment dot start. So as soon as we'll enter that, now it is in the starting point. Okay. And after that, what I'll even add an backslash n so that now my name will be beginning from the below. And let's increase the size. So yeah, this is how it's gonna look like. Okay. Looks much better now, right? And let's give const everywhere. Now this is much better, and yeah, this is how our text gonna look like. Okay, format. Now after this, what we are going to do, we are going to give another size box. Okay, so Let's just continue with the design, how it's looking. So see, size box, then after that divider, then a row, then divider, then a row, then divider. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's add a divider here. So divider colors dot white and the thickness should be, yeah. Now you can see it. It is visible. Well, let me reduce the thickness and also the color. So gray dot shade 400, okay, or maybe a little darker. Now it looks much better, right? Yeah. Now we have to ensure that the row which we are about to create looks perfect, right? Because this row needs to be called multiple times. Because if you will check this out right here, like this row is called about 3 times, right? So instead of calling that multiple times, we will be ensuring that, yeah, it is created once properly so that we can reuse it multiple times. Okay. So let's start with that. Let me just go to the row, and inside this, firstly, we will give a container. Okay. So because container will make sure that the height is not used more, right? Instead of container, you can also use sized box as well, but I'm not going to use that. So child will be a row. Okay. So inside this row, we will ensure that we have the main axis alignment to be spaced between, because text and everything will be far apart, right? So main axis alignment will be spaced between. Then inside the children, we will create what the first text was, edit profile. Okay. So the first text will be edit profile. So let me just create that text. And inside the text, I'm gonna name it as, let's just keep it account for now. And the second will be an icon. Okay. So let's give it an icon into it. So container inside the container, I'm gonna give some margin and padding to it, and let's see whether we are able to get an icon or not. Okay, so now you can see that we are getting some icon, but I don't need that much height and width. Okay, so I'll just give padding to it, and let's do one thing. Let's just remove this container. Okay, and we'll just give padding directly to this. Okay. So edge insets dot all, from all sides I need to be about, let me check. Yeah. From edge insets dot all, I need it to be about this space. Okay. It looks much better now. Let's see how exactly it's gonna match out with the profile or not. So yeah, this looks fine, right? Now let's do one thing. Let's change the padding which we have given right here, right? So as soon as I will increase it, it's gonna be much better, right? Yeah. Now it looks good, and yeah, it's fine. So this is how it's going to look like. Okay, account and everything. So let me replace it with size box, and let's add. Let's just extract it. Okay, so let's click extract widget, and I'm gonna row. So yeah, row with icon row. Okay, so yeah, very basics and name. Yeah, I know that. So we'll call out some of the variables here. So final string will be our text. Okay, so final string is text, and then we have final icon data. Okay, or let's call it a what? forward picture. Okay. And also final function on tap. Okay. So let's just do one thing. Let's add all these things to it. Okay. So required, required, required. Now inside this row, I'm gonna give some data. Okay. Now if you will just click on it, now you can see it's there. Okay. Account dot person. So instead of person, it should be icon. I don't need to add any icon data, I think so. Icon data is not necessary. So let's remove icon data. Okay. We just need on tap and this. And here I'm gonna add text. Okay. The rest, most of the things are going to be saved. Same right. Yeah. So move this. Now let me reload. So we have account, right? Then after the account, we will give sized box, then divider. Okay. Now let's check. Yeah, we are getting that. So right after this, we are going to ensure that we get a divider. Okay. So after this, then what divider? Yeah. And now also we are getting for this, we'll give it some spacing. So size box. Yeah. Yeah. Now it looks good. So we are going to just repeat it more times. Instead of repeating, let me do what? Let me copy this size box and divider, and we are going to add all that into it. Let's leave it. Okay, so let's just continue with the code just like that. Okay, so chat constant. Yeah. So now you got notification, edit profile, privacy policy, and settings. Okay, so edit profile, privacy policy, privacy policy. Okay, then size box, then divider, then again one size box, and then again settings. So this one will be our settings. So okay, let me just refresh it now. So yeah, now you can see it much better. And we'll add size box and a divider. Okay, so let's see divider size box, and yeah, now it looks much better. After this settings, what we are going to ensure, we are going to ensure that we have very basic container. Okay, this premium one, this premium also we have to ensure. So let's do what? After this divider, we are going to add a spacer here. Okay, so spacer will take out all the remaining spaces. And after that, we are going to create this premium page. Okay, so which has this, premium button. So let's create a container, and this container will be having height of all about, let's take 90. Okay, and about after this height, width will be infinity. And let's do one thing. Let's add a row into it because that row was there, right? What we'll be having, we'll create a row. Okay, this will be the same. And, and here, instead of this text, we will add a column. So one column, two column, and three. So column will be having three, and then all of that will be wrapped in a row. Okay. So sounds like a plan. In this, I'm gonna add a row. Okay. Now this row has what? Children. So inside this children, the first thing that I'm gonna wrap it up with is a column. Okay. So we'll add a column. Now column will be also having children, and this children will contain a container. Container is what? The pro button that you are going to create. Okay. So the container will be having, firstly, child will be a text. Okay. So let's give it const text. Okay. So text will be row, And right after this pro, there will be a very basic styling like colors.white, and the size will be about 15. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look. Let me refresh it out. Yeah. Now you can see we are able to get this profile right. Instead of profile, it will be just pro. Okay. So pro. And the container will have some decorations. So let's give some decorations to it. So decorations will be box decoration, and inside the box decoration, we will give it some colors. Okay, so instead of blue, it's gonna be colors not red. Okay, but now also you'll see it's not looking that good. So let's give some padding as well. So we'll give padding, and inside this, we'll give about very small paddings. Okay, so let me just give it cost edge insets dot symmetric. Okay, and inside the symmetric, we are going to give about uh, random values. Okay, so it became really big now. So horizontal will be about 6 and vertical will be about what, 2 or 3. Okay. So yeah, now it looks much better. So this is our pro buttons. Let's give it 3 so that it looks more of a square. Okay. Yeah. So this is the button that we have created. Now after this, what we are going to do, we are going to also add another text. So let's do that as well. Okay. So after this, what we are going to do, we are going to write text. So const text. So that text will be what? Upgrade to premium. Okay, so upgrade to pro, and yeah, that's it. So let's add that into this and refresh it. Yes, so upgrade to pro. I guess the text size is really big. So let's give it a little small text size, and yeah, looks fine. Now, to make sure that this or everything is aligned in the center, we'll get cross-axis alignment dot start. Okay, so now this looks good. And after this cross-axis alignment dot start, we are going to be left with one more text. That is, what was the text? Let me check. Yeah, the subscription is auto renewable. So let's add that same text. We'll copy out this line, paste it out, and this subscription will auto renew. Okay, so let's add this. Yeah, now. Yeah, it looks good. Let me reduce the text size so that it does not take all the spaces. Here, this looks much better now. Okay, so column work is done. Let me just close this column out, and inside this row, we'll just add a padding. Okay, padding will be edge insets dot all, and inside that we're just going to add 8. Okay, and let's see the still facing error. Const. Okay, so where exactly we have the const here? Line we have const. Add const modifier. So maybe this const is creating an error. Okay, so let's just remove this const. And where else we have used const? So let's check. Use const performance expected to find a bracket. Okay, so where bracket? Okay, so this adding bracket was supposed to be there. Okay, and let's add the const back. Now, if you will check, you can see that this arrow is coming right here. But we also want to ensure that this arrow is all the way, right? So first, let me just increase the padding a bit, and we'll go to our row. Okay. Inside this row, I'll make sure to add main axis alignment dot space between. So now when we will add space between, you can see that now it looks fine. Okay. And right after this row, or I mean, right after this container, it's with sized box. So right after this sized box, I'm gonna add one more spacer. So spacer As soon as we will add the spacer, it will be moved a little bit up. Okay, so now you can see that it's little up and also looks good now, right? So let's keep it like that. And also now what we will do, we have to ensure that all these sized box height is now 8. Okay, so let's just do it. Eight. Let's just do one thing. Let's just copy this out and I'll be pasting it everywhere. Paste, paste, and paste here as well. Now it's better. So we have got some spacing because it was not looking that good. So yeah, now it's fine. And the last thing which is left to add in this page is our sign out button. So let's add that. Okay. So right after the spacer, we will add divider. And right after this divider, I'm gonna just call this sized box again. So 8, then log out, then sized box, then again divider. Okay. And now let's just check. So yeah, it is not looking that good either. Let's just check. We have a single sign out text, right? Yeah. Let's just ensure that that will be it into that. So instead of adding that text button, okay, we'll just add here. Let me remove all these sized boxes. Okay. And I'm just gonna add a very basic text, which will be having our sign out. Okay. So I'm just gonna add a text. Let me modify it. Yeah. So now you can see this, and after this, I'm just gonna add once divider again. So yeah, now divider looks fine, and yeah, it's not that bad either. So divider and everything looks perfect, and let's just ensure that we have little bit spacing as well. So inside this font size, I'm gonna just make sure that this is wrapped out with text button and all. Yeah, that thing we'll do later. 800. Let's do 8. Okay. Yeah, this looks good and fine. And we will also ensure that this divider, is extracted, and you can just add the name as divider. So why I have done that. So what you will do, extract it as widget, and you can just call this out multiple times. Okay, so that will be it for the divider. Okay, so let's just remove all these things out once. And this will what this will do, this will minimize our code by a lot. Like you don't have to, modify these things again and again, again and again. And which, really helps out when you are dealing with these long codes, because you can see that we were writing this code out like how many times? The code was about 200 plus lines, right? So now it's gonna look fine. Return divider color parameter by what happened to this now? So don't worry, we'll check that out later. Okay, so we have created our very basic page, looks fine and everything good. Now, what is left? We are left to add our activity page into it. Okay, so this page right here, activity page will be done. So for that, let me just do one thing. Let me just ensure these accounts and everything pages are there. For privacy and all, you can just copy paste the code and you can just, you know, make sure that this code looks good. So let me just add account into it. So privacy policy dot dot. Okay. So the private so the privacy policy won't be having that much of a code. So just what it is going to store, it's going to just be having very minimalistic lines. So let me just show you privacy policy. Okay, so what I have done, I have created a basic page inside privacy policy and I'm gonna show to it. Okay, so inside this you can see that we have privacy policy, and this privacy policy, in this I have created a widget which says build full policy section, and this policy section is building a very basic column and everything. Okay, I'm just calling it out again and again to get a very basic privacy policy. Let me ensure that it's here. Okay, so here inside that bottom navigation bar is there. Then what you have profile. Okay, then what you have privacy policy page. Okay, so let's just import everything and let's ensure that it's there. Okay, so privacy policy has been added. Let's go to profile back, and inside the profile you have privacy policy. Okay, so privacy policy. Okay, go to main dot dot, and inside that you have privacy policy. Okay, so as soon as I will reload the code, I should be able to see that whenever we are going to privacy policy, we are redirecting some particular page, right? But we have not added the gesture detector, right? So let's add the gesture detector. So widget will be gesture detector, and it will be having an on tap function, which will be on tap. Okay. So whenever you will be clicking, gesture detector will work, and you will be redirected to this privacy page. So inside this privacy page, I have added these basic files. Okay. So which is introduction, information we collect, how we use information security, and all that. Basic pages. Okay. Now inside, what else is left in the design? So this part is done. This section is done. So this was the privacy policy that I have created. Now inside the settings page, we have basic units and measurement. Okay, so all these tasks will be, I'll be really happy if you guys do all these pages by yourself, because it's not that much big of a deal. If you have been there till now, you will be able to create these basic pages, languages, notification. I'll just create the settings page, basic page, okay, and I'll ensure that you can just then navigate and redirect to the new pages. Okay, so inside that I'm gonna create new files and I'm gonna name it as settings page. Okay, dot dot settings page dot dot. Inside settings page dot dot, what we are going to store? We are going to store basic uh, divider and all. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's just import package material dot dot. Okay, and after that, what we are going to create STL, that is a stateless widget, and then I'm gonna name it as settings page. So settings page, and after the settings page, it's gonna return what? A scaffold. You know all that basic stuff, right? So the scaffold will give background color, which will be colors.black. And then you have an app bar. So app bar will be having very basic data into it, okay? Which is this. It is what? Inside the app bar, we have background color. Then you have the leading button, which is the back button, which you can see right there. And you have the title, which is settings. And also I have make sure that the center title is true. Okay. Go to the main dot dot, and inside that I'm gonna add the settings page. Okay, so settings page, let's add it. And now inside the user provider, or here inside the profile page, we'll go here to the where we have called this row where we have called out our settings here. So inside this, I'm just gonna call out settings. So settings, and we will reload the page. Now, if I will click on settings, I will be able to see my settings page. Okay. So after this, what is left in the settings page? Basic data to be added. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a widget. Okay. So that widget will be having very basic data into it. So widget. So inside the widget, I'm gonna create settings options. With settings option. Okay. And inside that, we are going to ask few datas. That is what? A string. So string title and also a string description. Mm, description. Yep, that's it. That is the all data we are going to ask from them. Okay. Now after this, what we are going to start, we are going to return something. So right. Now we are going to return some of the data. So we are going to return our container. So inside container, we have let's add a semicolon here. So inside the container, we are going to firstly create child, and that child will be a row. Okay. So now what the row will be storing, the row will be having main access alignment dot space between, just so that ensure that same thing. Okay. Like, yeah, this is exactly the same as how we have created inside the profile section, right? So I don't think so that it's necessary to create that. Okay. Let's just do one thing. Let's just go to the main page. Let me just comment this out for now. And inside this, let's go to body. Body will be having our body will be having our which so padding. I'm gonna give padding. Okay. So padding. Then after this padding will be what edge insights dot all. So edge. So we will add here edge insights. Edge insights dot all. Okay. So inside edge insights dot all, we are going to give a very basic value into it. So let's give that. Okay. So edge insights dot all, and inside that, let's just give it 16 for now. Okay. So 16 is done, and after edge insights, we are going to give child, and the child will be having column. Give it column. Okay. So the column will be containing children, and the children is what? The options that I'm gonna use. So let's do one thing. Let's add it here. So children, and before children, what you have to do? You have to write cross-axis alignment dot start, which will ensure that everything is in the start. And then we have created that row icon, right? Icon row, if I remember. Yeah, icon row we have created. So let's do one thing. Let's add the icon row into this. So the first text will be units of measure. Okay. And the on tab will be nothing. Okay. Similarly, what you have the second, similarly, second you have, let's just do one thing. Let's just, so we have, I guess, four, right? So first is units of measure. Then you have notifications. What am I writing? Notifications. And after notification, what you have language. Okay. So language. And then Okay, so language, and after language, what you have the last one is contact us. Let's add that one as well. So contact us, contact us. Okay, let me just see. Yeah, now you can see that it's perfectly visible and everything looks fine. Okay, but we are left to add the divider as well. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me create a very basic class which will be create divider. Okay, instead of this widget, I'm gonna create build divider. Okay, and now I'm gonna call this build divider everywhere so that we will be able to get a little gap between our text. Okay, it's refresh. Yeah, this is how it's gonna look like now. Much better, right? So similarly, we are going to use this widget inside our profile page as well. Close that here, and we are going to call this widget. Okay, and here instead of this, with divider. Similarly, where else we have divider here? Build divider. Okay, so I'll just do this, and I'm gonna make sure that it's there in every line of code so that our code can be optimized a lot, and we don't need to write this big lines of again and again. Okay, so divider paste, then divider paste, then where else we have divider here, then paste, and similarly one more, I guess. So divider, yeah, that's it. Let's just go back and refresh it now. So as soon as you will refresh, you will be able to see that now the dividers are also much better, and yeah, things looks much better, right? Yeah, so let's just keep that for now. Let's wrap this with text button. Okay, so let's just wrap our profile page with text button. So to ensure that this will be much better. So text button. So text button. Text button. What happened to this on pressed is required. Okay, so let's give it an on pressed. So on pressed is this. Okay. Let's modify it now. So yeah, now you can see it looks much better, polished and completely fine. So our settings page has been created. Okay, profile page has been created, and the account page is left, which you guys can create on your own because it's not that difficult as well. I have already taught you main of the part. Okay, like see this notification units of measurement and language model. I think so everybody can do that. Okay, privacy is done. Edit profile will be just not having much of a code. It's just going to store this button, image, and all. If you will be having any doubts and difficulties, I'll uh, solve it out for you, and I'll just create it, or I'll just provide you the code. Okay. So all the basic part is done. Let me just do one thing. Let me just comment it out. Okay. So I guess today is day 10. Let's just make sure to check for the code. So the code is already available on my GitHub. So you can just go to my GitHub account, and from there you can check that out. Okay. I'll just show you the code. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Content. Inside that last was day 9. So day 9 is this. This is the code which you can get out. So let's just add day 10. And day 10 has been done with profile, page, and subsections. Yeah, that's it. So in the day 10, we have done profile pages and all the subsection is done. Let's just push that code out, and that will be it. The code will be uploaded there and you will be able to see it. Okay. Let me go to my GitHub account and let's yeah. So day 10 profile pages and subsections. Okay. So the code is also modified and properly done running. this was pretty much it. I hope you have understood whatever we have learned so far. If you have any sort of doubts and queries, you can either message me on my LinkedIn account or you can comment down below so that I'll be helping you guys if you have any issues. Okay. So if you're liking this series, then do like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss upcoming projects, upcoming series, and any other videos from it. Share these videos and playlists with your friends who wants to learn Flutter and wants to create these amazing applications. Okay. So this was pretty much it for this video. I will see you in the next one where we will be mostly finishing out and completing all the works. So that's it. I'll see you in that one. Till then, see you. Have a great day and bye bye.